Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another annual video that I do every single season where I give every quarterback their quarterly review. Essentially, this is just going to be a quarterback ranking, although I tend to have a little bit of fun in these videos, so don't take it too serious. And before we hop right into it, don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 lineup after using code Wyatt's World at sign up on Prize Picks. But remember, always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright folks, so here we are at the tier list, and this one has a ton of quarterbacks, so I'm not going to do every one of them. I'm going to start here at Jordan Love and end here with Justin Fields. However, this was the only list that had 99% of the current starters in the league. Also, categories for the list for now. Starting at the top, we have Alien, then we have Great, in the middle we have Decent, under Decent we have Not Very Good, and bottoming out the list we have Trash. So without further ado, let's get into it, starting with Jordan Love. And he gets a Decent. I mean, what's there to really say about him? He's only gotten to play 2 games, and in those 2 games, he's made some nice throws. He has thrown some touchdowns, but he's also thrown 4 interceptions. Last week, I do give him a break, though. It did not look like he was fully mobile, and I'm sure there were some throws that he was just thinking, fuck it. Moving on, we have Gardner Minshew. Not very good. He started off okay, and I feel like he's just gradually declined throughout the weeks. And sadly, I don't see things improving for him either, considering Devontae Adams is in fact not playing, and like I've mentioned, has requested a trade out of there. All right, moving on to Aaron Rodgers. He's been decent. He looks really old. He's also dealing with a knee injury now too, where he even said he's a little bit banged up after being limited at practice yesterday, but I don't think he's looked like a bad quarterback by any means. He actually had that really nice comeback game, then simmered down against the Broncos, obviously, with that horrendous offensive performance, but I don't blame him for all of that. I think he's been fine. Now we got Bo Nix. He's trash, but can play good in the preseason, because that's just the truth. Like, what does he offer to your team right now? It's been 4 weeks. He has 600 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 picks. Like, I know he might have a couple rushing touchdowns too, but quarterbacks are supposed to be able to effectively throw the ball. He doesn't do that. Now moving on, we got Bryce Young. Sometimes the truth hurts, but this guy is just trash. Not saying he'll be trash forever, but right now he's trash, and Andy Dalton proved it. It ain't the offense, it's Bryce Young. He was garbage. Now moving on, we have Jacoby Brissett. Not very good. Now, it's not like he's been that bad. He doesn't turn the ball over or anything, but he just hasn't been very good. The guy hasn't even hit 170 passing yards in a game yet this season. Now, I can't act like I sit down and watch every single Patriots game, but like I was just kind of ripping on Bo Nix for being a quarterback who doesn't effectively move the ball down the field. Well, that's Jacoby Brissett too. Now moving on, we have Joe Burrow. I can't lie. I feel like he's just been getting a ton of hate this year. I don't see what the issue is. In my eyes, he's been an alien. He's been fucking good. 70% completion percentage through 4 weeks. He's 4th in the league in touchdown passes. He's only thrown 1 interception. Like, I know the Bengals record isn't good at this moment in time, but I think he's the last person to point the finger at. Now we got Trevor Lawrence. He is hashtag broken. I don't know what's wrong with him. His team don't know what's wrong with him. I don't think he even knows what's wrong with him. And yeah, I know he might have a good touchdown to interception ratio. The guy has a 53% completion percentage on the year. He is missing his targets by a country mile. His team is 0-4. This used to be a guy who could go out and rip 300 yards on a team, and now he struggles to break 200. That'll bring us to Lamar Jackson. Alien. He has been really fucking good the last 2 weeks. I know the Ravens had a slow start, and he might have had a slow-ish start in week 1, but he has been making all the right decisions, connecting on every throw. His run game is as crisp as ever. He's looking awesome. And now we got Will Levis. If he only had a brain, that's the best place to put him to. We know he has arm talent. We saw him last year. This guy can throw a fucking rope, but he just don't have any sort of common sense. All right, now moving on, we got Sam Darnold. Obvious alien, leads the league in touchdown passes, has the highest passer rating out of any quarterback who has played every single game. The Vikings are 5-0. He's completed 68% of his passes. Key definition of coaching matters, man. He has turned his career around bigger than anybody could have ever imagined. Now we got Joe Flacco. He goes in the category of, shit, here we go again. He goes from team to team, from bench to bench, but the second they need him, gloves off, baby, time to go. All right, now we got Patrick Mahomes. He would lead the NFL in picks if Anthony Richardson and Will Levis didn't exist, and that's a fact. Turned over the ball 5 times in 4 weeks. I know the Chiefs are 4-0. I know he's been playing well enough to close out games, but that right there is just a fact of life. Now we've got Dak Prescott. I'm gonna take some shit for this, but honestly, I don't think he's been playing that bad at all. He almost led an unbelievable comeback versus Baltimore. Only real bad performance I think he's had has been versus the Saints, and he also was coming off of a game where he just shredded the Giants. Now we got Daniel Jones, man. He's been decent. He's been stone cold decent since week 1. He has some underthrowing issues, but I've said I've been impressed with him on 3rd down. He's been making some great plays. And since week 1, he's had 4 touchdowns to 1 pick, and his completion percentage the last 2 games has been back up in the 70s. Now we've got CJ Stroud. I think he's been carrying his weight pretty well. Came into the league with a lot of expectations. I know the offense probably isn't at their tip-top form, but he's 4th in the league in passing, and outside of that game with Minnesota, he doesn't turn the fucking ball over. Now moving on, we have Brock Purdy. I know, like I said, this last game versus the Patriots, which they won, was the game where I think he might have looked the worst so far this year, but I still think he's been playing pretty fucking great, and a lot of it is coming off of the Vikings game that I watched him play. Dude, he was smothered that game with pressure every snap, and he still completed 28 out of 36 passes for over 300 yards. Like, that was wild. Now we've got Jaden Daniels. Alien. If I read correctly, he has more scoring drives than he does incompletions. Like, that's fucking wild. Commanders are sitting 1st in their division right now with one of the most electric offenses in football. Now we've got Andy Dalton. He goes in the category of, ah shit, here we go again. Same as Flacco, man, just rides the pine from team to team, but the second he's needed, gloves off, motherfucker. Now moving on, we have Justin Herbert. Decent, he's a little bit banged up, and he's just not throwing the ball. He's not bad when he does throw it, but like for his standards, dude, he has under 600 passing yards through 4 weeks right now. That is not Justin Herbert. I know it's the game plan, but I'm just saying, like, you can't give him too much credit right now. Now moving on, we have Caleb Williams. Decent. It was a rough start. Last week he played pretty good. 2 weeks ago he threw for 360 yards in his 3rd NFL game ever. He's not gonna be that bad. Now we got Jalen Hurts. He gets a decent. This one's a little bit weird. He hasn't been that good, but I also don't think Kellen Moore has been calling great plays, and I think his head coach Nick Sirianni's a fucking moron. Plus, again, with me saying he hasn't been that good, he hasn't been that bad. He's made a couple bad mistakes, but like, he's been serviceable. Now we got Josh Allen, alien. Outside of the game versus Baltimore, where he still didn't even play bad, like I said, made a terrific play in it, he has been outstanding this season. He's been accurate. He's got 9 total touchdowns through 4 weeks. He hasn't been turning the ball over. Knock on wood for that one. But he's been playing like one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league. Now moving on, we have Derek Carr. He gets a decent. He started off red hot, but the last 2 weeks, he hasn't been great at all, and he's also turned over the ball in his last 3 games as well. Wouldn't be a problem if he was compensating with touchdowns, but he didn't even throw a touchdown last week. A matter of fact, he's only got 1 in his last 2 games. Now we've got Deshaun Watson. He's too good for a team that he holds down, because that's the truth. The guy feels like he is above the Browns, and he is literally the biggest problem there. Now we're on to Skylar Thompson. Give Bryce a friend down in trash. He is absolute garbage. Moving on, we got Anthony Richardson. If he only had a brain. Just like Will Levis, we know he's got some incredible arm talent, but holy shit, is he as dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to in-play IQ. And that'll bring us to Malik Willis. Decent. He's only gotten to play 2 games, but in those 2 games, he was really good. 3 total touchdowns, a 2-0 record. Like, what are you going to complain about there? Now moving on, we got Kirk Cousins. Decent. Hasn't been that great. Also coming off of an injury, but has also made some pretty nice plays. Just the Kirk Cousins standard we've seen in Minnesota the last couple years has not been carrying over to Atlanta in the way we thought it would. All right, now moving on, we have Jared Goff. It was supposed to be Tua, but I'm going to skip Tua. And Jared, I'm throwing him in great. He just had a perfect game, and that was awesome to see it. It was historic. But we can't act like he has been lights out all season long. He had a little bit of a sluggish start, then heated it up 2 weeks ago. Then last week just went on an absolute tear. All right, now we're on to Matt Stafford, and he goes in the category of what do you expect? He doesn't have any weapons. I ain't rating him because he don't have a chance. Now moving on, we have Baker Mayfield. Great. He's been playing great football. He's been playing safe football. He's been playing productive football. All right, now moving on, we have Kyler Murray, and this is a tough one. I want to give him great, but I'm only going to give him decent because, again, like Herbert, when he's been throwing the ball, he has been good. He has been safe. He's been productive, but he's not throwing that much, and they're not using his legs, which is what was such a big part of his game at quarterback. That's what made him so dangerous. Not sure if they're trying to protect him or what, but they got to start running him more to make him the best quarterback he can be. Now moving on, we have Geno Smith. Honestly, great. I know he might have a lot of picks right now, but he is throwing that ball more than anybody in the league. He's leading the league in passing. The Seahawks are 3-1. He's got an immaculate completion percentage. He's been making insane throws all year. Got to give credit to a dog when you see one, brother. And ending, we have Justin Fields, and I'm not kidding you. He gets a great. He's been really good this year. He's been by far the most accurate quarterback he's been during his NFL stint. He scored 6 total touchdowns through 4 weeks, only 1 interception. Last week, he was the reason that the Steelers even had a shot in that game to begin with. Right now, he's just looking like a really evolved form of the guy we got to watch in Chicago, who was obviously very ripe. Again, you gotta give credit to a dog when you see one. And that is also going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, for my NFL quarterback quarterly review as of right now. Hope you guys had fun with this list. Like I said, hope you didn't take it too serious. But if you guys do want to show support, you guys already know what to do because I appreciate any and all help. And in the meantime, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Enjoy Thursday Night Football. And as always, I will see you in the next video.